Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. I am, of course, Reader Lazar. Today is the 8th of October, as according to the old calendar. We've got three saints for you today, and those three entries are consistent across the group chat, the book, and the Celtic Saints website. So, our first entry of today is Saint Keyne, also known as Keyne, or Senwen, and she is from the 5th century. Saint Keyne was a daughter of King Saint Brohan of Breheniog, who is commemorated on the 6th of April. She lived as an anchoress at what is now Keynsham, Somerset, England, which many scholars believe was named for her. Towards the end of her life, she returned to her native Wales, where she reposed. There have been several churches dedicated in her honour in southern Wales and Cornwall, England. She has a Troparion, which I think... Okay, it's tone 8. I will bring it over here. Troparion of Saint Keyne, tone 8. Having turned serpents to stone, thou givest thy name to Keynsham, O holy Keyne, and after thy life replete with miracles, our Father Cadoc ministered to thee at thy repose. By thy prayers, O Virgin, may we be granted great mercy. The group chat entry is as follows. Saint Keyne, also known as Keyne, the same other names in brackets, Hermitess of Cornwall and daughter of Saint Brohan. Born in Wales, she lived as an anchoress in Cornwall. Some say that Keynsham in Somerset was named after her. A church in Cornwall is dedicated to her. Our next entry is for Saint Triaduna. I don't... Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I'm actually very confused. Somebody's made a tiny error. Anyway, according to the Aberdeen Breviary, Saint Triaduna was a Christian maiden from Colossae in Asia Minor. She accompanied Saint Regulus, who we will commemorate on the 17th of October, when he brought the relics of Saint Andrew to Scotland in the 4th century. Saint Triaduna settled in Rescoby near Forfar in Angus. Tradition has it that her beauty attracted the attentions of Nectan, king of the Picts, to put an end to his unwanted advances. Saint Triaduna is said to have torn out her own eyes and given them to Nectan. She spent her later days in Restalrig, Lothian, Scotland, where she reposed and was buried. Her tomb and subsequent holy well and shrine were a centre of devotion and pilgrimage prior to the Scottish Reformation. Saint Triaduna intercessions have been sought by people with eye disorders, and there are numerous accounts of her healing the blind both before and after her repose. The group chat entry just says Saint Triaduna, brackets Trallan, none of Restalrig, Scotland, brackets 4th century or 8th century. I believe this book says that she is the 4th century. And apparently there is no Troparion for her because the Troparion for Saint Keyne is there. Anyway, and our final entry for today is Saint Iwi, also known as Iwi. And he is from the 7th century. Saint Iwi was a monk and later a hermit at Lindisfarne. He was ordained to the diaconate by St. Cuthbert, who we commemorate back on the 20th of March. St. Iwi reposed c.960 and was initially buried at Lindisfarne. His relics were translated to Walton Abbey in Wiltshire. Saint Iwi, brackets, then both ways of saying Iwi, one with a Y at the end of the WY and another with the I. Hierodinka Deacon of Lindisfarne, c.690 in brackets. A monk at Lindisfarne in England, he was ordained deacon by St. Cuthbert. His relics were later translated to Walton near Salisbury. According to the group chat, we also have the translation of the relics of Saint Aidan, Bishop of Lindisfarne and Enlightener of Northumbria, and translation of the relics of Saint Geoffrey, Abbot of Wearmouth and Jarrow. May they intercede for us. Right, I've been Rayna Laza. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all, and Amen.